Something else I want to ask you about here in the Observer, Meltzer would write, Anderson was making a public appearance for the NWA at a television syndication convention, and McMahon was at the same convention, and the two disappeared together over lunch for several hours. From all reports, the two had a very amicable meeting, and Titan had been interested in Anderson since that point. Now, earlier, I sort of got the indication that was the first time you had met Vince. Did you have lunch with Vince at some TV conference early in '88?
I don't know where that came from, and I don't know who believes Vince McMahon could sit still for 2 hours, number one. Number two, I don't eat lunch. It makes me lazy. So that never happened. I don't know where that came from. It's interesting, but not factual.
Dave also wrote, there are probably several reasons why the pair left such a key spot with the NWA for what easily could be a future middle of the card performer with Titan, particularly not getting the balloon payments that were due to them in May, and the uncertainty about the future of the NWA, which is presently in financial disarray. There's no word on whether other wrestlers will follow the pair's lead. Unlike other recent losses like the Powers of Pain, this loss definitely is a major one for the NWA. Not only because Blanchard and Anderson had been headliners as tag team champions for most of the past year, but also because it destroys the Four Horsemen gimmick without getting any mileage out of their future breakup feud. A lot to unpack here. But I guess the biggest question though is, creatively, are you glad you didn't give long enough notice for them to do some sort of breakup of the Horsemen? Because had they done that, it may have prevented you from doing it in the future.
You know, if we would have done the breakup of the Horsemen, I can only speculate that one of a few things could have happened. The audience would have spit it out because they didn't want to see it. It could have failed from that perspective. You know, it's like brothers. Nobody really wants to see brothers beat the piss out of each other. You know, Hardy Boys, Steiners, you name it. Anytime they've done an angle brother against brother, it didn't have the cachet or panache that everyone thought it would be, because I don't think anybody believes you're really going to hurt your brother. That's one way. I would suggest that if you did have a spat between the Horsemen, if it went another way, it would just be so interesting and so entertaining that the company would have been on fire again, and they would have never sold the company, and it would have been all over again, just sold out houses and you name it. So it could have went either way. One thing I do know is in those days, if you did work a notice, they normally would beat you all the way out. But then again, with us, they had already beaten us quite a bit. So I don't know what they would accomplish by doing that, but it might have tarnished, you know, what we had accomplished.